Hello everybody, I'm Jamie, this is Jazz, and welcome to Brand Creations, the pod. Right, so our topic of conversation today is why most people hate their jobs and yet they have kids knowing their kids will also hate working. I have very strong views about this, clearly, because I don't think anyone should go into a job that they don't like. I don't also believe that... I think it starts from the school system as where they literally breed you to be a 9-to-5 worker, an employee. They tell you when you can eat, when you can piss, you know, and you have to fit into a category. Like, you're not your own person. You can't show yourself in your own way. If you don't learn the way that is right for them, you're a bad student or you're just not going to make it. And I think that then goes into the workspace, is the fact that you're literally, again, told. I mean, like, there's places where a bell rings and it's like everyone flocks out for lunch. And that's when you're allowed to eat, not when your body's hungry, kind of thing. And it just teaches you that, you know, you're dependent on that person who controls you, and that's not right, because you're an adult at the end of the day. So many things.
The education system in general is a good thing to talk about, because we are very different people in that aspect.
Yeah.
I liked education and I enjoy learning. I'm in uni right now, and you did not.
Yeah. So what would you say the benefit of you being a good student was?
I got a lot of academic validation. It's like, for me, if I did well, if I got good grades, then like it's like proving something to myself that like I could do it.
Yeah, but was that worth the stress that you went through?
Yes and no, I guess. Because I'm still proud of what I got, and I'm still like, yeah, I did do well in school, and I'm proud of that. And like, my GCSE grades got me into like A-levels, and my A-levels got me into uni. But the stress that it took to get there probably wasn't worth it.
Yeah, so like for someone like me that's come out of school with no grades, stopped going to school, college I had to do all of my maths and English because it was mandatory, and then I was never going to go to uni. I don't really see the difference, especially with someone like you who wants to do the marketing and all of that side of things, but they also want to live a very free lifestyle. You don't want to be like, you don't want to stay in Bournemouth where you're going to be in an office every day. You could have taught yourself that on a course for $2,000, and you could have you will get to the same result without all of the stress, all of the struggle, and without giving 16 to 18 years of your life to a system that's breeding you to put you in a system. So, like, I don't see the benefit with it at all. I mean, I come out of school with nothing, and now, like, at this moment in time, it's like you have all of these grades, you have all of you go to uni, you're extremely clever, and that's great, but then you work for someone like me who didn't even go to school really past year 10. You know, I mean, it doesn't really make sense, like, why you would take on that stress. With the uni, I mean, we had this argument about the loans. You are going to have uni loans
for the rest of my life.
For the rest of your life that, you know, you're not going to really pay off, or you're going to need like a massively good job to pay them off. Whereas like I could do a course today for the next week and learn what you're doing, and then I don't have to pay off anyone either. I just have to pay off my $2,000.
But I also think that's the reason that they make student loans a thing, because it makes more people go to uni and then acquire student debt. Because most people are never going to pay off their student loans. It goes after you're, what, like 40? And I think if you leave, I don't think this is true, but I heard that if you leave the country for a certain amount of years, it then gets cleared.
Yeah.
I don't know. But it's like a enticing thing to be like, well, forget about the money. It like entices more people to join that system of education and long it out.
Yeah, but you've also got to think about what's that going to affect if you had to finance a car.
No, it doesn't affect it.
Doesn't affect that?
No.
Mortgage or anything like that?
Student loans are a completely different thing.
So then what's the point of having it if you ain't even got to pay it? That's mad, isn't it? Why set it up? Just don't do it. Just make uni free.
Yeah.
And then the people who want to learn can go.
Yeah.
And like they don't have that added stress.
I think it's also like not a pride thing, but like these days it's become so easy to go to uni that people are like, well, why wouldn't you? It's not a thing to do with money. So like in the past it would be like the rich went to uni, but now if you don't go to uni, it's like, well, why? Like people question it, and it's like, well, are you stupid? Like, why wouldn't you do that? Because it's made to think that like once you get a degree, then like you're flying, like you get all these good jobs, and realistically that's not the case. Most people who get a degree then end up working for other people.
Yeah, and working for other people that didn't even get that, like didn't even do school.
Yeah,
that's the thing. I mean, like it's one of those. I started work as soon as I was 16. Yeah, I had to go to college, but I didn't really do anything there either. I started work at 16, and now I've got 9 years of solid experience of how to be in a business, how to run a business, and how to grow a business. And like you're already 4 years behind me because you've been in the education system. All the education system is teaching you is how to be a good employee. It's not teaching you how to pay tax, pay rent, pay your bills, budget. All it's teaching you is that you've got to do this pressure. You've got to be here when they say you've got to be here. You can piss when you're allowed to piss, and like that's not how you want to live your life. That's what confuses me with someone like you. Is like the fact that you're not even going to live your life that way afterwards.
No.
You're not going to want to go into a big corporate job.
No.
So that's why.
Nightmare.
Yeah, exactly.
But then I am doing a creative course, so I'm not. The course I am doing is setting me up to be not working a 9-to-5 job.
Yeah, no, I understand that, but there's a lot of people that do the same course, and they're going to walk straight into a 9-to-5 after.
Yeah.
You know, there's not a lot of people are like you in terms of you want to move to Australia and all of that sort of stuff, but you also will know how to do it, like how to do your work from wherever you are, and that's fine. But there's a lot of people that are too scared to do that.
But like I'm 20. I've had jobs prior, but it's like part-time jobs just to get me money. This is the first job that like I'm actually is doing what I want to do. I'm 20 years old. Like that's like old. And the only reason I'm doing it is because I'm in my placement year. If I didn't do my placement year, then I'll still be in uni and I wouldn't get that experience until I was 21. Like that is old.
Yeah, because you've had no experience of how to actually be in a workspace, in a work environment, and it's unhealthy because you're not at 21. It's too late.
Yeah,
you need to grow into a place like this, you know, but also you need to be in a place where you can grow. And like with you're here now. You came in here doing the basic marketing, and now you're doing all sorts of websites and everything like that. Like, but if you were in a normal job, God forbid you were still in a place, no disrespect, where you weren't getting paid, which is madness, then, you know, I mean, you weren't going to get the same experience out of it, you know, and that's the thing. It's, yes, you're doing a creative role, which is good, but you were still being shaped into a position where they were putting you in a place where you had to be there at a certain time, you had to be there at a certain day, you did, like, you know, it wasn't like I give you quite free reign on what you want to post and that sort of stuff. They'd be like, post this at that time. It's easy.
Yeah.
You don't really have to think too much for yourself.
You get told something, you do it.
Yeah.
You can't have that freedom of what you want to do.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where it goes back to the school, is the fact that that's where it is. You don't have any freedom. You're told what to do. You're told when to do it. You're told how to do it. And if you do it a different way, it's wrong. And, you know, it doesn't work. And that's what kids are growing up as now. They're like 13. They're hitting all of their like prime ages where they should be learning the proper stuff. And they're pissing around learning algebra.
Yeah.
And then that sets them up then for the future of just being scared of the system, you know?
Yeah, and I also feel like when I was doing my GCSEs, I was stressed beyond belief. And it's because in my head, they kind of made it out like, if you fail on this, then you're kind of fucked. Like, not like yes, you can figure it out, but you don't get taught that.
No.
And it's like, this is like the be-all and end-all, is that what I'm saying? So you have to do well to be able to succeed, when realistically that's not the case. No.
I went to sleep in all of my exams and it was lovely. I had the best time ever.
I cried before all of my exams.
Yeah, never once.
Lovely.
No. I found it a very enjoyable experience for all. They left me alone for an hour and a half and it was perfect. And that's the thing. But now it's like, right now in the office, we have you that's in uni and got like A's, B's and all of that sort of stuff. And you've given like a lot of your life to that sort of system, and someone else who's just passed their masters to work for someone who just couldn't even be bothered. And actually, like, I've not had to use algebra the same way you've not had to use algebra.
No.
Just because you were good at it, you still don't use it. You know, and that's the thing with it. It's not building you to be in a position. Like, I noticed it was with Sienna, you know, we're getting kids come in to work and they don't know what to expect. They expect to be told what to do at a certain time, when they can do it and all of that. They don't really know how to use the younger ones don't know how to use their initiative, you know, because they've never had to before. Whereas, like, force them to. You know, like, let them do it on their own and see what happens. Yes, they're going to make mistakes, but then who doesn't in life anyway? Do you know what I mean? Like, and I think everyone's so scared of making mistakes because they're going to get shouted at by some prick of a teacher. Not all teachers are pricks, sorry. But, you know, it's... Everyone's just so scared. And that's the problem. And then they feel like that's going to be their whole life. And they don't know how to change that. But... Whereas now, like, in 2023, you can change it on your own. As I say, I could do the exact same course that you're doing for $2,000 maximum on my own time and be at the same sort of level as you if I put my mind to it. You know?
Because we like to preface that you want me to drop out of uni.
Yeah, and I think you should. I still stand by my point. I think it's a good point. I don't really see much benefit of you going to uni. I don't see why... You know, it's necessary, but again, it's a proud moment for you, and that's fine. Everyone's different, but I'm just very honest in the fact that if I see someone wasting their time, and like with you, you're too creative to get the best out of you. It probably is in a little shack in Australia somewhere, like where you can sort of do it on your own time. You know, like where like you're quite good. You do a lot of your work in the night because that's when you find that you do the best work. That's fine. Like. Why should I force you for the rest of your life to be like, right, Jazz, I want you here 9 till 5, when actually you do your best work in the night? Do what the fuck you want in the day then. Just as long as you're getting the best work.
It doesn't matter when I do it.
No, you know, that's the thing, and I think that's the problem with it is that, and like, it also depends with like everyone has feelings and emotions and stuff like that. So some days you're not feeling it. But then the next day, you know, okay, I didn't do the best work yesterday, but I'll make up for it today, kind of thing.
And especially for a creative work situation, like if I was just told to like put in numbers or something every day, like you're told what to do, you do it. Whereas creative wise, like you have to like think of new things every day, and it does get quite draining. And you do get to a point that I'm like, I don't know what to do today. Like I don't have any ideas. Whereas the next day I might have 100. Like, it really is about how the person... Because also in corporate jobs as well, the big boss only cares about making their money. So they don't care about what the people think or feel. They just want their job done in this time they want. Whereas that doesn't give people the freedom to do what they want.
No. And that's the same as the school. Like the head teacher and the teachers only really care about what grades they're going to get at the end of the year.
Because it looks good on them.
Yeah. Whereas they don't actually care what the kids have got throughout that, the kids are going through, the kids, like, you know, that's not important to them. You know, and that's the thing. And kids just have to suck it up. But, I mean, now it's getting a little bit different because obviously there is this generation now where the kids are growing up a lot softer due to gentle parenting and all of that sort of stuff, which is now what everyone wants to see and hear, which is fine. Everyone can do it their own way. But then now I think there's too many kids walking around with too many problems, you know, that weren't there before. Like when I was in school, no one talked about it like that.
Yeah, but they were there, which is what I talked about.
Yeah, but it taught the kids that they have to learn to get on with it to a degree. You know, like, whereas now it's like everything stops as soon as they're feeling emotional. Whereas, and I think that's what's causing them to be weaker than what they were, is the fact that everything stops. But unfortunately, the world doesn't stop when you're just having a sad day. Like, everyone's allowed to feel sad, everyone's allowed to have their own feelings, and that's fine, and I get that. But you have to have some kind of responsibility to go, this is what I have to get done today. You know, whereas at the moment it's like or no, and you can't even shout at me for it because I'm feeling this type of way. So I can just not do anything.
Yeah.
And I think that's sort of one of those where it's building kids to be like, they can do it when they want to do it.
Yeah.
You know?
Because then also it doesn't work in the workspace as well, because if I didn't come into work today because I was feeling bad, I wouldn't get paid.
Yeah.
I need the money to live.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yes, that's true. You need to be a bit tougher on them to make them aware of the challenges they're going to have to face when they go into the working world.
Yeah. Yeah, and real life, you know, everyone, as an adult, you have responsibilities, you have bills to pay, you might have a family and everything like that. And I think if you want to walk around, if you can't cope with minor issues, and that stops you at every turn, then you're going to just struggle and you're going to fall and you're going to need to rely on a lot of other people.
Yeah.
And that's what I don't like about the way it's going right now.
Yeah.
You know, it's the fact that, yes, okay, people didn't talk as much and that isn't good. People need to talk. But it's now going to the point where people are like oversharing, I think. There's too much talking.
Yeah.
And there's not enough just going, this is just how I feel today.
You just have to suck it up.
Yeah.
Life moves on.
Exactly, you know? Like, all of a sudden now, a girl at 13 is walking around and she's feeling a little bit sad today. She's depressed. No, she's probably just coming on her period.
Oh.
Can you say that?
Sure.
But it's true. Or like, it's the same way with a man, though. A male. It's the fact that if a boy is walking around at 13 and he starts feeling a certain way, aggressive or something like that, it's not the fact that he's got
labelled.
Yeah, he's not got anger issues. He's just got a hell of a lot of testosterone pumping through his body that he's never had before.
Yeah.
And he's just learning to cope with it in his own way.
People get like what we were talking about. People get labelled, and then they have to fit into that category that they get labelled. You were labelled like the naughty kid. I was labelled the smart kid. So then we act like our label.
Yeah.
And it like encourages our label because it's like, well, I'm going to be named it anyway, so might as well just act like it.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. But labelling kids is like the most damaging thing because there's a lot of people, like, I mean, like for me, I managed to shake my label. I'm still a little bit weird, but I'm not as what I used to be.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people that are like, well, this is it for life now. I was the naughty kid when I was 13, so I must be the naughty person for my whole life.
Same with me. I was the naughty kid. I'm not a naughty kid. I was like the smart one. So even at the beginning of uni, I didn't drink, I didn't go out, nothing. It wasn't until I like left like my hometown, that's when I like came back and I was like changed as a person because I didn't have the people around me who labelled me like that. Not necessarily a bad thing, but it's like, well, this person expects me from this from me, and like blah blah blah. So it's like when you get that freedom, you could then get the chance to like be like, oh, who actually am I? And I did that when I was like 19, 20 years old. That's late.
Yeah. And I did that at 14, between the ages of 13 and sort of 16.
Yeah.
I sort of did all of that, and then so that's where it's like I had another 4 years of real life experience in front of you kind of thing. And I do think life experience is a hell of a lot more important than your grades. You know, I got told when I was like 12 by a lad who had just finished school, he even said, don't try. He said, don't bother. He said, if I had a choice, stop going right now, you know, because there's no benefit.
If you were to go back to school now, would you like try more? Would you?
No, I wouldn't waste time going to school.
You wouldn't?
No, if someone said you have to go back to school now, I would just not go.
But if you went back to that time of your life, would you try, or would you just...
No, I would stop going completely.
Really?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't walk through the door. Yeah, no, not at all. Wouldn't waste my time with that. No.
You get put in prison.
No, they've not got anything to benefit me.
Yeah.
You know, it's, if I want to learn something, I can learn it. If I want to learn history, I can learn history.
It's all about motivation as well, because say in school you have to get taught all of these things. So then it's like, say I didn't like history, but because it was forced down your throat, I actually might love history and might, in my spare time, if I didn't get forced to do it, I might actually enjoy doing it. But because you're forced to do things that you don't want to do or you can't do in the way they teach you, then it's like, oh, I don't want to do that because I don't like it. When realistically, kids might like things and enjoy things more if they are given the freedom, which is like homeschooling, really.
Yeah. I mean, homeschooling is definitely, I think, is becoming more normal, but I think it's not like the reason that there's still a hold up on it is because there's so many parents stuck in a system that they can't homeschool their children. You know, and they're too scared to take a risk of like, well, I could earn money this way, but I would lose my safe spot.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what they lose. And I think that's the problem. Whereas, like, it's the safety net the whole way through. You know? I mean, in terms of teachers, I even think they are in a bit of a safety net because I do believe there is genuinely teachers that are trying to do the right thing. But, I mean, like, my whole way through school, I got told I was a bad kid. I was going to amount to nothing. Chances are I'd be in prison. And, like, I was going to be pretty stupid for my whole life. I got told that every day, which is fine. That was their opinion and all of that. But it's like now I earn a lot more money than them.
Yeah.
I live the life that they actually probably want, and I'm 25.
Yeah.
Like, they are still stuck in that cycle. You know, and I think that's why a lot of teachers are angry because they even know the system that they're working in, and they don't know how to change it.
Yeah.
So they're just sort of in it every day. You know, they're not even motivated to be there. So why should we be motivated to be there? You know? Whereas with like homeschooling, I mean, my little brother was homeschooled. Both of my kids are all of my kids are going to be homeschooled. It's the fact that they can have the freedom to do what they want when they want. You know, yes, they need to learn the basics and they need to learn. They're not going to grow up stupid.
Yeah.
But they're going to also learn life skills.
Yeah.
They're going to go food shopping.
Yeah.
And they're going to learn how to pay for that food shopping. And they've only got a set budget. Make it work.
Yeah.
And, you know, and like the bills are coming out this month. Well, then how do we get ready for that? What do we need to do when we get paid? Help me allocate my money.
Yeah.
Because that's the sort of thing, you know, I mean, and especially now, yes, okay, like, I mean, there's a lot of people now that, like, times tables is quite a basic thing. You learn that in, like, primary school. There's not a lot of adults that know how to do it. Yeah. But you also don't struggle because you have a luxury of a calculator in front of you. Like, and that's the way the world is. So why do you need to learn it?
Yeah.
You're not any more stupid because you don't know how to do it, because you'll get the same result.
You can figure it out.
Exactly. But it's just the fact that if you can't do it because of a rhyme in your head, then you're stupid.
Yeah.
But it's like, well, just whack out a calculator, stop rhyming, and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
You know, and like with my kids, when they're going to do a lot of outside stuff and all that and get them out into the world, you know, and helping other people, helping communities, helping staff, instead of sat in a classroom every day where they're not listening, they're sat on their phone and they don't give a shit.
And it also allows them to be more creative. Like a lot of like singers and stuff like that, a lot of them were homeschooled because their parents gave them the freedom of choosing what they want to do. And if they wanted to go with something, then they'll let them do it. Like, there's no restriction with homeschooling.
No, and that's the thing. And life is literally like one big trial and error. You know, that's the thing. You actually mess up a hell of a lot more than you like actually succeed in something. But it's the fact that you just got to be okay with that and keep trying.
At uni, I had an experience where I was working with an outside like client, and I was the one to like talk to her. I was like the communicator with her, and I messed up. I can't even remember what I did, but I messed up. And I phoned my mum, I was crying, and I was like, and I thought it was like the end of the world. I was like, oh my God, because we were working in a group, and I was like, I've let everyone down. But then I'd already figured out, she was like, okay, what are you going to do about that? I'd already figured out 3 different solutions of how I was going to figure that out. She was like, well, that's fine then. You know what you're doing. Like, you figured it out, you'll make it work. And that was like a point in time that I was like, if you fail, if you do something wrong, it's not the end of the world. You can figure it out. Yeah. But I was like, that was the beginning of the year. Yeah. I was like 19. That's late to realise that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. But I think naturally everyone's going to learn different stuff at different ages, and that's fine. But I just don't think you were helped by the system that you were in. And that's the problem. They're just, you were very scared of messing up. Scared of getting it wrong.
Yeah.
And actually, whereas like now you come here and it's like, I actually enjoy it when people make mistakes because then you're actually learning from it. Like I make mistakes every day. It's absolutely fine. Nobody's going to die.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the thing. I think that's what needs to be taught is the fact that you're going to make mistakes and that's okay. You know, like that's why I don't think like sitting down on the test days and stuff like that, because you don't know what that kid's got that day.
Yes. I think tests are so bad.
Yeah.
Like, I think that aspect of like the education system is so bad because you could do so well. Like, how long is like secondary school? Like 5 years. You've got a whole 5 years of working, and then you've got your final 2 years as all your GCSEs, and your whole school education system is debated or like whittled down to one day. And if you don't perform well on that one day, then that's it, and you are labelled as like you didn't get your grades, and then that will affect what comes next or what you want to do next.
Yeah.
Which is just stupid. That's so stupid.
Yeah, that's the thing. But it's the fact that it's to scare you. It's to scare you into the fact of, you've got to be like this, and then this is your one day. Yeah. It's the same with most jobs. Most people will have a yearly review, and everyone knows the date that it's coming up. Yeah. So, like, for example, I would say, right, Jazz, you've been here a year, and like, you know it's coming up. You know I'm going to be reviewing you. Yeah. You're going to be stressed about that one day. Whereas if I actually just tell you how you're getting on throughout the year, you can make the minor tweaks that you have to make if you need to improve, or if you're doing great, and then you're not wasting time until you get to that year. Yeah. Because you're actually focused on the stuff that you're doing.
And I think that's also a good thing about having like a present boss. Like, you are my boss, and you're like the door next to all of us, so any of us can like walk in and talk to you and like ask questions. Like, you are very good at like making sure that there is that communication. Yeah. Whereas most corporate jobs and most bosses, you don't see them. No. You have a manager that you see, but the big boss is nowhere to be seen. Yeah. Or if he is there, you don't have that like comfort and freedom to freely talk to them because you're scared of them. It's that intimidation. Like, you should be scared of your teachers, you should be scared of your bosses, when realistically that doesn't help anyone. No. You perform better when you feel comfortable in a space, not if you're scared of it. Yeah,
exactly, and you'll grow it, and that's what I mean. I'm like, all the team that we've got here, they're not like highly qualified, they're not like, they've not had to go to uni to be here and all of that sort of stuff, but it's the fact that I've actually got the best out of them by just being normal. Yeah. Like, nobody's better than anyone at the end of the day. Yes, okay, in this space, okay, I am the overall boss. The responsibility ends with me. Yeah. But that's the only difference.
Yeah. And that also makes us, as people working for you, want to do our best because we're together. Yeah. Like, if I put in a lot of work, then it's going to help you, but it's also going to help everyone. Yeah. Like, it's not just you that benefits from it.
No, and that's the thing, and that's what, like, with you at the moment, I mean, like 2 months ago you were working in a job where literally you were not getting paid, and, and they put that down as you have to do that for experience, which is just ridiculous, because you're trading your time for no money, and that's not putting any value on you. You're teaching yourself that your time is not valuable. My time is extremely valuable. I only give my time to the people I want to give my time to and deserve it. And a lot of it comes down to the money aspect, if I'm going to get paid to do that kind of thing. But with you, and it's like now with you, it's the fact that you've been here 2 months, you've come on a certain wage, and that's fine. And then we've already had conversations about what your potential is over the next few months with what we're doing. Yeah. You've literally just been a part of. You're not just here to put posts on social media. You've just created a brand. Yeah. And we're now doing all of this different stuff, and that's giving you the creative aspect to want to do it, and that's going to give you a hell of a lot more experience in life, and that's the thing, you've got to think about that side of it, and where you are at, and what you're going to be for the rest of your life, but and that's it. And it's like with the school as well, with the holiday requests, I mean, and work as well. Your holiday is dictated by someone else, which is wrong. You need a rest. You need time off. You want to or you just want to spend time with your family, or you don't have a family and you just want to do nothing. Yeah. Why is it someone else's decision for you when that's good for you to do that?
And especially as an adult, being an adult is the point that you have the freedom of doing whatever you want. You don't have anyone ruling over you, but you do. Yeah. Every day, 5 days a week, you have someone telling you what to do.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing, and I think, okay, it's been that way for a very long time, and I get that. People have been in that for their whole life, and I get that it's difficult to change, but I think there needs to be more going on in terms of social media, in terms of what people are producing nowadays, to show that there is actually an option.
And there's a world out of your
Exactly.
9 to 5.
To get out of it, you know. I mean, like, that's one thing that we're trying to do with, like, the brand creations and stuff like that, is, like, grow their brand so that they don't have to be in that every day.
Yeah.
You know, that it is growing and they don't have to give their time, a set amount of time every day.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like with me, I've now grown the business to the point where I can have a family day if I want to. I
Yeah.
can go on holiday when I want. And I can dictate that for myself.
Yeah.
And I've built the business where, you know, everyone else covers for everyone. And then if you're off, we all cover you.
Yeah.
You know, it's not about Jazz is off, not everything stops. No.
Yeah.
We all get in and we all
Yeah.
help out, sort of thing. Because if you need a rest, you need a rest. Or
Yeah.
you just want to go away, you want to go away.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. And I mean, like, you know, we've got a couple of people here that just book their holidays, and that's because they know I'm going to be absolutely fine with
Yeah.
it, you know. And it is the way it is. If they want a holiday at that time, then crack on,
Yeah.
you know. But it's with the social media. It's the fact that it's like you either have to be that. You have to either carry on as you're doing, or now it's coming to the point where people are saying, like, this is the other side of life. But I think there's a gap at the moment between the 9 to 5 to the gurus
Yeah.
who are driving around in the Bugattis and all that
Yeah.
sort of shit. Don't get me wrong, they've done very well, that's great, but it's not helpful to the other people
Yeah.
showing that side of it without showing a journey.
Yeah, because you just see it and it's like, well, I'm never going to do that.
Yeah.
Because how do you do it? You don't get taught it at school or from your day-to-day life. So the only people who can tell you about that is the people who've done it, and they don't.
Yeah, and that's why we're doing what we're doing now with the podcast, with brand creations, with
Yeah.
showing our journey a lot more in terms of how we run the business, the Perfect Finish business, how we're going to run everything else that we're doing, so that we can actually show these people how to do it.
Yeah.
And how to get out of the lifestyle that they think they have to follow.
Yeah.
And also then we're gonna, with the marketing side of things, we're gonna help grow the business because we have the experience of how to grow a business.
So we're starting kind of from scratch with this new one, but we have the experience, so that's what we want to share, I guess.
Yeah, and along the way we'll share the mistakes we make, what goes wrong, what goes right. We'll sort of show everything, give a complete in-depth picture of it,
Yeah.
so that people know, and then they can actually take it away and use it.
Yeah.
In their own lives, kind of thing, and
Yeah.
actually show that it is possible for,
Yeah.
like, a normal person, you know, a normal person who didn't go to school, a normal person who does go to school,
Yeah.
but we're just normal people showing that it's possible.
Yeah.
You know, that's the thing, and actually you can create wealth and your own freedom
And happiness.
in a normal day-to-day life. You've just got to find the right ways to do it,
Yeah.
and find your passion.
Yeah.
Coolio. We look forward to that.
Yeah.
Hope you enjoyed. Follow us for more. We'll be doing a lot more of these.
Yeah. How many?
It's going to be at least another 15.
I mean, like, per week?
Oh,
Are we doing one per week?
I think you got to do more than that to start with.
Really?
So I think to get it,
Oh, wow.
I think you got to do 2 a week.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, I think we've got to aim for 2 a week.
We're doing short and snappy, though, as
Yeah.
well. It's not
Yeah.
like an hour podcast.
Yeah, exactly. I think we do short and sweet. We do 2 a week at the minute, and we're gonna then you need to follow the Instagram handles, Brand Creations, and we will be posting daily updates on there
Yeah.
about how we're getting on. So follow the journey. Peace.
Goodbye.